What's good with the fight fans, man? It's Kijana back with some fight predictions this week. UFC Fight Night 178, Covington versus Woodley. It's going to be a fucking banger, dude. It's going to be a fucking banger. These dudes do not like each other. They've been talking shit to each other for quite a while now. They were supposed to fight already. And I honestly didn't think this fight was even going to come to fruition. Just because, like, I don't know, man. The UFC is weird like that. Everybody wants to see a certain fight, but then it never happens. Yeah, so I'm just happy that they actually got it booked. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a few fights on this card. I'm gonna jump straight into it though. I'm gonna tell you guys my prelims in this video, and then I'm gonna upload my main card predictions as well afterwards. Derrick Minor, first fight, Derrick Minor versus TJ. What is it? How do you say his last name? TJ Laremy. Derrick Minor, he's a submission specialist, and TJ Laremy's going to want to keep it standing, man. TJ Laremy's 12-3 record, and Derrick Minor has a 24-11 record. That's not the greatest record for him. TJ Laremy's making his fucking UFC debut. I think he has 7 KOs. Yeah, he has 7 KOs. He's a powerful striker, too. I watched a little bit of his tape. Very explosive, very explosive. He can knock you out at any moment. He looks explosive. If you look at his body type, he seems like he's just, I don't know, man. He seems really explosive. He seems like he can knock you out at any moment. He has 2 submission victories as well. He's on a 4-fight win streak. His last loss was by TKO to Alex Morgan. He actually lost to Alex Morgan twice by TKO, the same fighter, which is pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that fight and see what flaws he had in that, because he lost in 2017 to him and he lost in 2018 to him. So that's gonna be interesting. But he won his previous fight by TKO, doctor stoppage on Dana White's Contender Series versus Daniel Swain. Derrick Minor, man, he already made his UFC debut versus Grant Dawson. He got submitted. Was not a bad loss to have, though. This guy has 21 submission victories, 1 KO win. 21 out of his 24 wins are submission victories. This guy is dangerous on the ground. It doesn't matter if he's on his back. It doesn't matter if he's fucking on top, in any position. If he's on the ground with you in any position, it's gonna be bad. So just be prepared. Grant Dawson, I mean, he has been submitted 8 times, though. That is a lot of fucking submission losses, and he's been KO'd 2 times. So he lost to Grant Dawson by rear naked choke in the second round, but he was putting up a good fight in the first round versus Dawson. Dawson just kept his composure and used his experience and just his bigger body frame to get the dub. So, yeah, he was on a 2-fight win streak before that to Terrence McKinney and Charlie Dubray with a triangle choke and a shoulder choke. And then he lost previously Dana White's Contender Series by triangle armbar, to Herbert Burns. He lost to Kevin Kroom by TKO, elbows, Jordan Griffin by armbar. So there's a few people decent names that he's lost to. But man, this guy's game. He's game. He wants to get you out of there. He wants to submit you. It doesn't look like he's he doesn't look like he's no joke, honestly. Like, he looks like he's coming to fucking fuck you up. So I'm gonna roll with Derrick Minor on this one. The other guy's super explosive. I could definitely see him getting a KO or a TKO victory early in the first or in the second round. A lot of people are hyped about TJ, and I see a lot of the odds going in his favor. So, but I'm gonna roll with the underdog on this one. For some reason, I like to roll with a lot of underdogs, so I'm gonna pick Derrick Minor in this one. Next fight, Ewell versus Erwin Rivera. I'm not going to even talk too much about this one. Erwin Rivera is 1-1 on the UFC. Ewell's fought in better opponents than him. He has a 16-6 record, and Erwin Rivera has a 9-5 record. Ewell has a 9-inch reach advantage in this fight. That is ridiculous. He has a 5-inch height advantage. I know a lot of times that doesn't really matter, but at times it does. When you have a precision striker and kickboxer like Ewell, I know his cardio isn't the best. He tends to gas out towards the end of the second, early third round. Most of his fights he does. At least that's what I've noticed, what I've seen. But that reach advantage is going to be very hard for Erwin Rivera to get in close and actually do anything. He was having a problem on his debut. I'm trying to remember who he fought. Let me see who he fought real quick. Who did Erwin Rivera fight? Giga Chikadze. Chikadze was just picking him apart. Yeah, I mean Chikadze is a decent kickboxer, and I feel like Ewell's faster than Chikadze. I'm not gonna say he has better kickboxing than him, but he's definitely faster than Giga. And Giga was fucking picking him apart. I know Erwin Rivera has a lot of heart. He's very explosive. He's got decent double leg and single leg takedowns. He likes to keep it standing from what I've noticed. He has 1 submission victory and 5 KO wins. He has 2 KO losses. So yeah, man, something's telling me Andre Ewell's gonna get the job done. Erwin Rivera is relentless. He could be a good dog pick, but I'm gonna roll with Andre Ewell on this one. Next fight, Newson versus Randy Costa. The Zohan. The Zohan, man, fuck, dude. I actually enjoy watching Randy Costa fight. He's 5-1 record. Pretty decent kickboxer. I think he has all KOs too. Let me check. Yeah, he has 5 KOs. He has 1 submission loss to Brandon Davis on his debut by rear naked choke in the 2nd round. He beat Boston Salmon with a vicious fucking KO in the 1st round. I picked him to win that fight. Boston Salmon, I just feel like he didn't have the chin to really hang in there. And Randy Costa has really good footwork. He knows how to use his range very well. And he's just a precise striker. He has pretty decent takedown defense too. You don't see him on the ground that much. So, yeah, he's fighting Newson, 9-2 record, 3 KO wins, 3 sub wins, 1 KO loss. The last fight was a no contest versus Domingo Pilarte, and then his fight before that versus Ricardo Ramos was a UD loss. So, I mean, he hasn't gotten a chance to really do anything in the UFC. Those are his only 2 fights in the UFC so far. This is going to be interesting. He's going to come out super hungry in this one. I could definitely see Journey putting up a really good fight. He has good double legs. A relentless fighter too, man. It doesn't seem like, even when he's tired, it just seems like he has more willpower than anything. So he just keeps fighting through it. But I don't feel like he's the most athletic. I don't feel like he's the most technical striker or fighter in general. I'm not saying Randy Costa is either, but I'm going to roll to Randy Costa to get the job done on this one. Next fight, Jessica Rose Clark versus Sarah Alpar. I'm rolling with the debuter. On this one. I don't know anything about Sarah Alpar. She's 9-4 record. Jessica Rose Clark is 9-6. They both have similar records. Jessica Rose Clark has way more fight experience in the UFC because Sarah Alpar, of course, she's making her debut. But I'm going to roll with the debuter. She might be more hungry. Jessica Rose Clark just did not look good in her last fight versus Pani Kianzad. She didn't look good in the fight versus Jessica Ai. And those were the last 2 fights she had, and those were both losses in 2018 and the end of 2019. So she's just not active enough for me. She beat Paige Van Zandt, cool. She beat Beck Rawlings by split decision in 2017, cool. So she's 2-2 in the UFC. She lost to Pani Kianzad twice, once in Invicta and once in the UFC, and that was her last fight. Sarah Alpar, though, she's 9-4 record. I want to see. I haven't watched any tape on her, so if you guys know anything about her, dude, drop that bitch in the comments. I want to know. It's gonna help my parlays out. It's gonna help me know if I'm gonna even pick her. I'm gonna look up some videos of her and some highlights and some fights that she's been in, just to get a feel on things. But I just don't trust Jessica Rose Clark, honestly. I don't trust her enough to pick her or put her in a parlay or anything like that. Sarah Alpar, aka Too Sweet, 2 KO wins, 2 sub wins, 2 sub losses. What kind of sub losses does she have? Rear naked choke. 2 rear naked choke losses, both in the 3rd round. That's not good. They both lost to Karina Dam. She's on a 3-fight win streak. She got a rear naked choke win on Dana White's Contender Series versus Shayna Young. Yeah, I'm going to pick her. Something's telling me that she's going to win, so I'm going to roll with her. I don't know why Jessica Rose Clark is honestly still in the UFC. Maybe because they just need more fighters for the women's divisions, but she's just not that great of a fighter. She's kind of cute, but she's not that great of a fighter. Maybe that's what they're banking off of. They're trying to fucking promote her a little bit more, build her name up. All right, man. Next fight, Jordan Espinoza versus David Dvorak. Jordan Espinoza is 15-7 record. Dvorak is 18-3. He has a 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Jordan Espinoza does. Espinoza has decent cardio. He's got pretty good wrestling. He likes to go for a lot of takedowns. But I think David Dvorak's going to get the job done. I feel like he has more precise striking. He's a pretty good kickboxer. And dude, he can knock you out, dude. Dvorak has KO power. Serious KO power. I don't think he's going to knock out Espinoza. Just because Espinoza's always moving. He has pretty decent footwork. And he moves his head too a lot. So I don't think Jordan Espinoza's going to I don't think he's going to get knocked out. But I could be wrong. Espinoza's never been knocked out, so he has 4 submission losses. That's a lot. He has 7 sub wins, 2 KO wins. He's going to want to get it to the ground. He won his last fight versus Mark De La Rosa by UD, which is not that impressive because we see Mark De La Rosa. I don't even know if he's even in the UFC anymore, but he was on a 3 or 4 fight losing streak. This dude lost to Alex Perez by arm triangle choke and Matt Schnell by triangle choke. Before that, he beat Eric Shelton. I remember that one by UD. So he's 2-2 in the UFC, so that's not the greatest record. Dvorak's, I think, 1-0 in the UFC, so he hasn't really Dvorak really hasn't proved himself much, aka the Undertaker in the UFC. I mean, he does have 7 submission victories, 8 KO wins, and he has 1 KO loss. But I mean, he's on like a 14-fight win streak, dude, which is insane. And the KO loss was a TKO. I think it was a cut. I think it was a doctor stoppage. It doesn't say doctor stoppage, but it says cut on ShareDog, so I'm guessing maybe that was a doctor stoppage. It says TKO, maybe not. I have no clue. I don't know why they even added that on there. They should just say either TKO or doctor stoppage. Anyways, I'm gonna roll with Dvorak on this one. He's from the Czech Republic. He seems like he's pretty tough. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna pick him. Fuck it. Espinoza does have decent takedowns though. His grappling is pretty good. Next fight, Miro Buena Silva versus Merrell Romero Barella. I am not picking Barella, dude. Barella's been KO'd, TKO'd 4 times. That's ridiculous. Anybody that's been KO'd 4 times is just too much, especially for the women's division. That's just too much, dude. It's too much brain trauma. Your brain's mush. Your brain's mush, so I can't trust you. I can't trust your chin. I'm not even going to talk too much about this. She has a 12-8 record. She almost has as many losses as she has wins. I know she's decent with her submission victory. She's going to want to try to get this fight to the ground. She just doesn't have any head movement. She's kind of flat-footed, and she's fighting Myra Buena Silva, 6-1 record. She's going to try to get it to the ground. I think Buena Silva beat Jillian Robertson on her debut, if I'm correct. I think it was by armbar. But I honestly don't remember. I remember her name. So she lost to Miro Moraz on her last fight by UD. She beat Jillian Robertson by armbar. I knew it was her. Yeah, she beat Jillian Robertson by armbar. So she's 1-1 in the UFC. She hasn't really proven herself. She doesn't have that much fight experience. Romero Barella has way more fight experience, and that could play a huge factor in this fight. So I mean, fuck it, dude. Flip a coin. I don't really know. If you guys have insight on this fight, fucking let me know, man. Some of these chick fights are just super hard to call. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Buena Silva on this one. I can't trust Romero. Next fight, Merced Bectic versus Eduardo Garagori. I was going to pick Garagori in this one, which is actually a shocker because Merced Bectic is a pretty decent fighter. He tends to gas himself out, though. His wrestling's pretty good. He's a pretty well-rounded fighter. He actually was he was a top prospect for a while, but people just, I don't know, man. They stopped talking about him. Once he started losing a few fights, they just stopped talking about him. And I think it was that Darren Elkins fight where Darren Elkins came back. He was getting fucked up, and Darren Elkins came back and just knocked his ass out against the cage. But I'm not a huge fan of Merced Bectic. I thought Eduardo Garagori was going to come in and possibly beat him, but I'm pretty sure somebody on his team, one of his coaches or somebody, tested positive for COVID. So I don't think that fight's going to happen. They might get a replacement for Merced Bectic, but I'm just going to skip over that one. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. And let me know who you guys are picking or some of your parlays, who you guys are rocking with for the prelims. I'm gonna drop my main card predictions right after this video. All right, you guys enjoy the fights, enjoy your night.